Hey Debbie, we're gonna get started in a few minutes. We're just waiting, we're gonna wait for about 6 or 7 more minutes till everyone gets here. You can just hang tight.
All right, Sarah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great. Debbie, it's nice to meet you, even if it's on Zoom.
You too.
So hopefully this will be helpful for you. I'll get this meeting started shortly, but thank you for being here so early.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining. We're going to teach on how to do a headstand. Jamie, please show us.
Oh, okay. We need Michael Reeves.
Yeah, Michael Reeves.
He's the world caliber.
Hi, Callie. Hi, Kevin.
Thank you.
I guess,
Yeah, have you ever seen the movie Forgetting Sarah?
It's long enough. You're gonna sell my silver today.
He's like, vacation after he breaks up with his girl.
Is we're gonna teach everyone?
They're like, no, you can just do that down where someone goes. And he's like, no, I'm gonna do this house. And then he's just screaming, like, please don't injure yourself.
That's the energy.
Yeah.
Sarah's a certain type.
It's my open house this weekend, guys.
Well, you are.
I was thinking.
She said they had a bunch last week.
Who made it?
That is funny.
All right. We'll start the meeting in about 5 to 7 more minutes, but feel free to have your computers ready because it will be helpful if you can do it while we're working. Then you can. The goal of this is to give it as a actual in-person experience where we're doing it together and setting up your packages, and then you don't have to do it ever again.
We're recording this, right?
Yes.
Hi, Kat. Fair.
They could take that, but they're not.
Time comes up. Maybe.
Just gonna have to sign on. Right. Your signs.
You're not.
Okay, everyone. Can I please get all of your attention? Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you all. Have a great night. Okay, first of all, thank you to everyone for being here. The purpose of this lunch and learn is really to help everyone with your processes, all related to contracts, forms. We're gonna go over a couple different things. We're gonna talk about the process within the office itself, as far as contract submissions, your checklist, what we're evolving in that process. Both myself and Nan have sat down with the team, and we've kind of gone over some of the things that are maybe redundant and some of the things that can be more streamlined to make it easier, so we're not having to submit contracts in weird ways and feel like there's more paperwork than necessary. So we want to eliminate some of those steps, be a little bit more refined in those steps, and then C, the ultimate goals after we've gone through some of that. I want to help you guys, and some may have seen this in the past when we did a lunch and learn. I want to say it's probably a year or two ago. We did a lunch and learn related to doing forms packages. And what a package is essentially is all the relevant documents that you're going to use to perform a listing or a purchase contract. You're going to have them preloaded with all the relevant information. And when I say relevant, I'm going to focus on default, the things that you primarily do on a standard basis, the more of the 90% cases, and then you can adjust accordingly. But we're gonna do it all together. You're gonna save all of it and then have it to use. It will eliminate error. It will save you time, and it will prevent scenarios where you don't get paid, or you end up picking up a transaction fee that you forgot to put in. Scenarios that you just won't think about on the fly when you're trying to do this quickly. So what I will ask is if everybody can just give me, I know we're all realtors, including myself, and have very short attention span, so we'll make this quick and efficient. But have your computers ready. See, attention span's out.
Very long.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But have your computers ready. Go ahead and plan to have your Paragon open, have your Form open, have both of those ready to go. And then what I am going to do while you're doing that, I'm going to give the floor to Nan. She's going to talk about a couple of points. If you could please focus and listen while multitasking. And then we'll segue in.
Just three quick things. Leasing people, there is a new flood disclosure that needs to be given to tenants. So, and since we don't have a TBR lease that you have to line up forms with, you're just gonna have to use the Florida one. So make sure you look for that for your tenants. It supposedly started October 1st. And then we also, for sales, we also have a new flood form. The old one, if you read it, it was like, do you have any federal claims or something? But read it again now because it's a little more vague and they do need to disclose, even if it wasn't a federal claim, you know, in general insurance. Something like that. So read that form carefully. And then there's a new condo form. They've added a bunch of language. It's real hard to understand, but we tried on our TBR one to make it more like bullet points, a little easier than just that run-on paragraph that's in the Florida one. So just pay attention to that. There is a new form for that now.
Did everybody get that? Summarize, you're going to have a flood disclosure like you do on purchase contracts, all with every single lease agreement. So participating in any type of leasing work, there will be a flood disclosure requirement of the actual landlord disclosing about flood. On the purchase contracts, everybody will have a flood disclosure. So make sure you have that. You guys have already been used to that, but they modified it. And then third was the point.
New condo.
Condo. Yeah, so make sure that you're obviously looking into that as well. This is a lunch and learn, and I know that you guys all like lunch. So lunch is being dropped off as we speak right now. While we're setting this all up, I think it'd be wise. Do you guys want to eat while working, or do you want to work then eat?
I'm starving.
Let's take a vote. Okay, so Brittany will beat us all up if we don't do that. So In 2 moments, once it's fully set up, then grab lunch, have it ready to go, and then let's really jump into this, okay?
I can't think if I'm.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
You're so good at this.
I wouldn't say
I
that.
want to see if Mary Claire and Chris
Yes.
do their.
Yes.
So it would fall
But I do want them to be able to focus. Yeah.
This one.
They could have both.
Okay, so while we're placing this back here, we're also going to Mary Claire and Chris about topics that need to be brushed on related to your paperwork.
The new checklist or just
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, the new check.
Hey, I know we're all excited. It's just 5 more minutes of true focus while things are happening in the background. Mary Claire needs to go over the other changes that will be made. These are the changes that I referenced when I first started talking. We are going to change the submission checklist to make it more efficient and be directly related to what we're doing in each transaction. So if you can listen to her, this will impact you because you got to do this right to get paid. So just listen, 5 seconds.
You want to pull it up on this?
Sure.
I sent you email with a document of it, so it's easier to read. Okay, so just to keep in mind, make sure you're filling out your cover sheet completely with the numbers at the bottom and MLS number and all those little details are important. So just make sure you're doing that. And then when you do have a closing, I don't need your closing docs, so as long as they're scanned to yourself, you can throw them away. You don't have to leave them on my desk. So that, and then if you have an in-house deal, only the buyer's agent needs to do a contract checklist. So that should save time for everybody. So if Nan has a listing and Katie brings the buyer, only Katie needs to do a contract checklist. And Nan just needs to do her CDF, send it to me, and then I will put it in Katie's contract checklist to do. So do an in-house deal listing agent, you're off the hook. You do not need to do a contract checklist unless you really want. But it's just more work for
I
everybody.
have one question. Y'all might be going over this, but I feel like it would save Chris a lot of time if on our PDF, we kept track of how much we paid the nomin group. Cause like, I mean, I know we're keeping track of it ourselves, but then we always email Chris, the same number as I do, like, is that something y'all? think-
Like y'all put the number down and we check it or?
Yes, like, is that something we can do? Is like, you have a line and get in it. That's
Text box on there.
Yeah, you're welcome to do that, but I'm also keeping track too.
Right, so you don't, it doesn't bother you for us to email you all the time,
No, all that's really fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping track as we're going along.
Okay.
It's not a bad idea. You need to know at any point I have it. But if that helps you to keep it marked down on your CDF, several of you do that. And it does not mess up what we're trying to do.
Okay.
We're able to keep that separate.
Okay, so.
Okay, scroll down.
Okay, so the listing checklist is pretty much staying the same. I don't know if Nan mentioned, but we're gonna make the HOA disclosure. You can also put the condo writer in there. The condo writer overrules the HOA. So if you have a condo, you don't need to put both. You just need to put the condo writer in there. But we're kind of just gonna rename it so it's the same thing. And we just changed the order to try and make it to flow a little bit better. So hopefully that'll be a little bit easier for you guys to understand. All the disclosures are together. And then all of those are required except for the revision. So it's not a super big change, but hopefully looking at it,
It'll flow a little bit easier, but
Yeah.
you'll also see the description of this disclosure is going to be multi-purpose, meaning HOA or condo.
Yeah.
Just going to alert you to think about it because we are missing that in some cases. We want to make sure that those are all included.
Yes. Okay. So if you have a normal buyer, like Keller Williams listed a house and you brought a buyer to it, this is what the buyer's agent contract checklist would be for, or an in-house or double-sided deal. This is very similar. This is basically what we have now. And again, we changed the order to make it a little better. We put the addendums all at the bottom. So basically when it comes to closing, you should have everything up to here. And then, so hopefully that'll be easier to visualize. we made the lead-based paint required. If you don't have that, if it doesn't apply, you can put not applicable, but
It's to trigger you again, because people
This is
are
so
dropping
important.
that. It's so important. You have so much liability claim. if You don't include it in a lot of homes.
yeah, so and again, with anything, like if you don't have an SPD or something, always just put not applicable or investment property or something, so I know, and we're not going back and forth being like, so just from the get-go, if you can do that, that'll make everyone's life easier. Yeah. Cover sheet, and then so we're creating this is a whole new checklist. It's going to be the listing agent contract checklist, and this is when you have a listing and someone from Keller Williams brings you a buyer, you won't have to repeat the wire fraud and the transaction broker and all those things that are already in
We're
the
like
listing.
scrambling to find it and bring it back over.
Yeah. So you'll use this, and this is just a little bit more simplified. Again, we reordered it, so hopefully it makes sense with the disclosures all together. And then these last three things, like, should be all green and then orange, and then when the closing happens, those are the only three things you need. So
Any questions?
we'll be making those. We'll let you know. I'll send this out once it's all done and made so that you guys know and can start using these new things.
Do you find that to be easier for you guys? I think it just kind of clarifies, so we're not having to drag
Kind of
place to
double.
place.
Yeah,
Okay.
just a little simple.
Good, thank you.
Good job,
Very clear.
Nate.
Anything else you want to shed light on?
Not right now.
Chris?
No, I'm good.
All right, perfect. So.
You don't
while we're
have
at
any
a
complaints about how we're filling out our forms or anything that you want
Well, no, I mean, Mary Claire is the one that's
to catch?
double checking them, so, yeah, but like, just to reiterate, I mean, until that, every single thing is filled out in that file and she's able to mark it complete, I can't submit your commission.
Don't even go to her office.
Yeah, no, I mean, go get paid, just listen, that's super easy. With that being said, we're at a great breaking point before we start the actual demo. So if you want to stop, I'm gonna give everybody exactly 3 minutes and 26 seconds, grab food, bring it back, and let's
All
test.
we need.
Omar, this is like you're a natural. Just get up to the board and start posting some facts. Right, yeah.
I don't know about that.
They've already got them.
They signed me up for committee, and I'm like,
Did they?
oh my gosh. I just got like.
Volunteers.
I was like.
This is the nice.
I'm like, what?
It's great.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was high. Did you volunteer at large to be on the committee?
No, Lisa Montgomery and Susan Byler were like, hey, we're just gonna add your name, and then I got an email and a call from them like,
What committee is it?
the MLS committee.
Oh, no.
I'm like.
Oh, I would have put you on my committee.
They are fun, I mean, I.
Yeah, I've never had that one. Thank you guys for putting this all this together.
No, sir.
I feel like the.
It's like got this whole process. Yeah, we are. We're good.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay.
The most important thing is that everybody should have.
Start letting rooms.
Right. Which, for the most part.
And again, I don't love it, sometimes it's confusing, like we're here or what.
Hey, guys, a quick announcement.
Like that.
So y'all are listening, I wanted everybody to at least have the opportunity to have a small can of mace in their car or any showings you did not feel comfortable with. So if you will, as you go through the line, grab a can of mace and take it with you. It is not a breath spritzer. Please know that. It is mace,
It does say.
There is no way.
okay?
Oh, no.
There we go. I don't know. I could probably do a standing back easier than a headstand.
He says that.
Yeah, I'll run that. Well, it's Sunday, I'll need that.
All right, we're gonna do.
I think I can just take it.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. Not yet. I don't know. My wife's kind of opposed.
Yeah, I mean,
Their body,
I don't know if they're
their
ever-
money.
like, come on,
I agree.
I was thinking, I go between Chinese stars and Mason, I think, so.
Mine do it, I was like, do it, learn it.
I think that I
You agree with
that. Recreational stuff.
We're doing that. Chris, is TPD doing our self-defense class?
They are, they haven't reached out yet, but yes, they're going to do a class. Have you? Okay. Yeah, I know that the press pass is gonna take a minute because of the family. That's a different person. Okay, yes.
Chris, can y'all hear me?
Because it gives you that.
About 100 people.
Okay, let's start to become more efficient. We're starting to get the itch. Let's roll. Come on. Yeah, come on. Good. This is really great. Look at that.
Can you hear me, Omar?
Thank you for doing this.
Well, don't pick up on it. Huh? Yeah, well, it's a team. Thanks, Jason. This is the perfect time for you to eat. Great.
Imagine the AI videos we can make now that we have that.
All right.
Everything.
Looks like our last few are getting their lunches right now. Is that right? You got a couple left. So while they're getting their lunches put to their bowls, does everybody get lunch? Cameron, would you like some lunch? You sure? You can't learn without lunch. All right. Fair enough. While they're doing that, if you guys can just make sure that while you're taking your bite, you're in a position to get onto your computer, and we can make sure that this is super efficient. Okay. And I'm sure you guys already had your Paragon tab open and your Form Simplicity open, but in case you didn't, let's do it.
Monitor screen. One of those tabs. No, I love it. So fun.
Actually, and also open up one more tab for me.
Jeez.
Open up Leon County Property Appraiser. Is it too much?
Yeah, I gotta close my shopping.
Yes, all shopping should be postponed for at least 45 minutes.
It's Prime Sunday.
I know, I'm saving as much. You know, actually, that Prime is not good. They take a 25-day algorithm spread and then make their adjustments. So all the sellers have learned that by October 1, they start inching up their prices every day. So that the algorithm is higher. So when they do their adjustments, they're back at base cost.
That's like Target.
So it's actually a big gambit. So usually either buy way before or way after. It's a very good. I mean, no one's gonna lose money. So it's just the way it works out. Okay, so everybody also pulled up Leon County Property Appraiser's website.
Yes.
It would be really smart to make these all tabs on your actual browser, but that's a personal decision. I won't encumber that. On that tab, go to property search and have your search dialog open and ready. Okay. You guys ready? Let's have fun. Let's do this. All right, so the whole point of this is we're going to create packages. So as you see on the screen up here that we're all looking at together, today we're all going to learn how to write a contract on a $1.7 million house because that's the energy we're going to put out. Everyone's writing big contract. That's your listing. So we're all going to not only write it, we're going to sell it, but this is the kind of energy we're going to put out to manifest some deals. So with that being said, go ahead and find this. It's in the new, so we can all do the same one and it kind of relates. Huh? The address is 3418 Lakeshore Drive. It is Jason Nauman's new listing if you've not met him.
Coming soon.
Perfect.
Is coming soon actually gonna work on the transfer?
Should, if it's all the same data. While we have that going up, go into your form simplicity. And what you're going to do is go into your home screen, click on blank forms. When you click on blank forms, just below that rider at the top, you'll see there is a dialog that says forms packages. And once you get to that screen, there's a green button. It's the only green button available. It says create new package. You're going to click on that.
The name.
Whatever you want to name it. What I like to name it so you guys can have some reference is I like, because there are company packages already set up, I like to do personal buyer package because I know it's personally related to me. If you want to say it's pre-filled buyer package, whatever will remind you to click on that when you're setting up your new transaction. Just work with what works for you. But we're going to first focus on a buyer package. Once you've done that, you're going to, down below, click personal. Oh, yeah, sorry, I have a broker. Right, just yours won't say that. Just that's fine. Okay. Did you have a broker associate? No. Let me look at your computers. Yours create form package. Perfect. Create form package. No worries. We're gonna go to blank forms. Blank forms. So just to repeat, blank forms. Forms packages, which is right below it. Create new package. Label it as you wish. Pre-filled buyer package. Create package. Now, what I want you guys to do, and for those that do not participate in TBR documents, Cameron, this will be an opportunity for you to do it based on FARBAR docs. So your same setup will be the same. Do you already have packages set?
There's some pre-existing test.
Yes, but this way you can, what the point of doing this versus the ones that are brokerage set is not about grabbing the documents as much as it is pre-filling what's always the default setting. So you'll see examples of that soon. You're going to go down and you're going to click. Have you guys all made it down where it's been saved? Has everybody saved their package?
There's nothing there.
Great. That's perfect. You're going to click on I have it labeled as sample buyer. What's wrong?
Not there.
I don't have.
We gotta make one.
You're in it. You guys are all in it.
Oh, okay.
You're all inside.
Like a transaction on it?
Yep. So what we're going to do is,
Oh, is it waiting?
now that you're inside of it, I want everybody to add these blank forms by clicking add blank forms. And I want you to add contract for sale and purchase.
Wait, it's not working.
Yeah, it's not working.
We don't have the same stuff that you do.
I have to pay for all that.
I'm keeping up over.
I did that.
All right, add blank forms, okay?
I am too.
And then
And I love us. After this season, we need to do like.
Contract,
So like, we have a beer. It's a lot of patience.
What else do we need? We're gonna need
The ones up there.
Let's go. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do contract for sale and purchase. You're gonna go to.
If we have the fire, we don't need that.
So, while you're inside of the TBR file,
Yeah.
if everybody will listen for 2 seconds, we'll get it all knocked out. While you're inside of the TBR file, you'll click contract for sale and purchase, homeowners association disclosure,
And why is that in the buyer's packet?
because a lot of cases you don't have some of this information. This will trigger you to make sure to either ask for it or prepare it, because sometimes you'll get a coming soon, it doesn't have it, but they've already disclosed what the actual value is. You want to go ahead and get those documents out. So if you can have it in here, it will create an action for you, essentially, okay? And if they happen to have them, you can eliminate it. But if I can have it pre-filled and ready, then I'm always a step ahead. Yes. Homeowners, lead-based paint disclosure. And if you don't need it at the time of the transaction, you can delete it, because then it triggers you to think about it, okay? Special clause addendum. Special clause addendum is becoming far more common in this last year with us doing contingency sales again and participating in different scenarios. So it's good to have that one there. It will help trigger you to think about it. Obviously, the transaction broker and the wire fraud.
No wire fraud.
You have to switch out of the TBR when you're searching and go into the far part.
Or just click or not.
So do you want us to do it in that particular order?
You don't have to, but I think it's helpful.
That's what order it'll go. What about what? Select.
Oh,
You're gonna have all the other things later.
Oh, you're in that.
Yeah, we're just creating a package so that when you're in the field and you gotta write a contract, it is as concise to the meat as possible.
Our question for you, sir. In FAR, I don't have a special clause addendum that I can see. Also, when I look for the transaction broker, is this the buyer brokerage agreement?
No, the transaction broker is actually a company document that you'll see. Let's see.
Transaction.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now it's
The seller's supposed to be the one.
This is where
Then you have your buyers.
If I have to do
our
that.
broker agreement.
well, I got it this one.
It's gonna do contract special. And it's sweet.
And now.
What about the other two? Transactions. Yeah. This is a buyer, we do the buyer brokerage. Okay, so probably should, in case you did. I've had times when
I don't have the special clause on it.
Well, that's a TBR. So you're good. And you're on the far bar, so your transaction is actually already a submitted clause on the side of the far bar. So it's, but you will, for submissions to the office, need that. So let's work on figuring out how you can get access to the transaction broker. Is the synchro balance sitting at the safe for list? Okay, so it should be in there. So we just need to figure out. how to get it. We should. I like to add flood personally because I know that I'm not supposed to fill it out, but just remember it's just to trigger your mind to think about it and ask. So let's. And make sure you're adding the TBR flood disclosure for the purposes of Tallahassee realtors. For anybody outside of Tallahassee, add the FAR bar based. Okay, has everybody put those documents into their package?
Yeah.
All right, so just to give you guys context again, we're going contract for sale and purchase, flood, homeowners association, lead-based paint, special clause addendum, transaction broker, wire fraud. We're all good?
No. Yeah.
No. Yes, no?
She's working on it.
She's working on it. It's okay. All right. While Katie's working on it, open up your contract for sale and purchase. And just so you guys know, the only time you can edit this document when you're setting up a package is in this window. Okay. So what you do here will be saved. And anytime you pull this package, like you used to pull a Nauman office package, all the information that you saved in it will come with. All right.
Change the title company,
Right.
and you're gonna default to your number one title company.
Yes.
Your person says, I want.
I want Owen instead, etc.
You're redo it.
Yeah, or even when it pulls up into your and we'll show an example in the transaction, you can manually change it then. My goal is just to default to the 99% of all cases. Okay, and then from there, there's always going to be deviations that you're going to do. Obviously. All right, so
I have a question.
yes.
Add non-buyer.
So the goal would be that you've already had them sign that in advance. Since you are writing a contract for a house you've shown.
Right, sir?
If you haven't, that would be great to add if that's your practice. I won't discuss that in length. Okay.
Heard that question, sir.
I mean, I have it in mind. Okay. So just a heads up, does everybody have contract for sale and purchase open?
Yes.
All right, so just please, everybody will have unique nuances to their style and what they do, but think about the 99% of your transactions. Very likely you use the same title office, the same closing officer. Very likely you do a lot of the same habitual practices on EMD days, whether it be 3 or whether it be 5. Think about what you do. There is not a default answer for all. There will be a couple default answers for all that I will shed light into, but the majority will be your own individual practices. So you don't have a seller, you don't have a buyer. That's all relevant to a transaction. That's okay. You don't have lot and block descriptions yet because we haven't discovered which one we're going to do. I'll show you when that happens later. Closing date isn't relevant, but clause 4, who the escrow agent is. You do know who you typically close with on a regular basis. Unless you decide to do a merry-go-round every time you write a contract, you probably close with the same place. Pick what that is and start typing it in right now. So for those that do, there are wrong answers, up to your own, whatever. But if you do Smith, Thompson, Shaw, Owen Title, King and Wood, I don't care. Pick someone and start writing it on your 99 percentile. Does that make sense?
Supporting Katie.
I'm going to be using Smith, Thompson, Shaw because that is mine, but it does not mean it has to be yours. Think of where yours is. So let's do this all together. I happen to also know their address by heart. Yep. I happen to also know their name. It is 08. Oh, it is 09. You're right. See, that's why we do this together. Yeah, it's just your habitual. No, that's your computer software. Everybody has their practice. It's okay. Do whatever works for you, but do something. Otherwise, there's no reason to be at this lunch and learn. Take your lunch and leave. All right. So
Just do so.
yeah. So now that we're here, I want everybody to see we've got an escrow agent listed. Understood? Does everybody have something of that same similar sense? Great. Let's move to the next one. You guys have a habit under section 4A, line 27, of how you do your escrow deposits. If you do it accompanying with, you're crazy. But if you do it with 3 days, 5 days, etc., pick what your 99 percentile is and insert it.
Do you want to insert something about the contract being assigned, or you want to go?
Again, it's about your personal.
I am literally.
All right, so has everybody done that? Yes? I'm not hearing any yeses. Thank you. Awesome. Let's move on. Okay, so moving forward, all the blanks that follow will be transaction related. So there's nothing you can really pre-fill at this stage, okay? We all have different forms of financing or funding. So placing something here will just cause you to have more error. So let's not do that. Leave it blank. Carry forward. Expenses. A lot of these expenses in clause 5 are very standardized. Take advantage of what's standardized and put that in. In most cases, even a cash buyer, you'll put a lot of the same things in. And if they happen to be cash, you can eliminate and remove 1 or 2. You guys are smart enough to know what they are. So for buyers, appraisal fee, buyer attorney fees, HOA enhancement fees, a mortgagee, an owner's title. I'm sorry, survey. Now, this is the part that I want everybody to pay attention to because this is the part that's going to throw everybody off if you forget it on your normal basis. These line items on the right, which would be number 51 and 52 in clause 5 of expenses under buyer, use these to your advantage. First one should always say inspections. Remind your buyers when they're reading this through that they're going to be paying for inspections. It's an opportunity to just put it out there and make it clear. So write it in. You don't have to if you don't want to. Again, it's discretionary. The second line, the $295 transaction fee. If you don't write it there and they're using financing and they're starting to do the balance of the CD, you will have a problem with that underwriter and lender because it's not a disclosed charge. So adding it in later will be a little bit of an issue. Not always, but it mostly is. And then you end up eating it. So be smart.
Non-group transaction fee, because it'll also red flag the title company so that they don't
Yes.
forget to put it on our side, but they just see transaction fee and they might put it on the wrong side.
You ask them to spell it out, or?
I do.
Yep.
It doesn't hurt. I put non-group. So it's.
Because the non-group, $2.95 pay.
I just put non. Transaction fee.
So let me see if I can. There we go. So that's what that should look like. So if you have that there, really the purpose of these packages is to be faster, but also to avoid error. You'll avoid a lot of error by doing that. On FARBAR, the same premise. You've got a little opportunity down in the clauses below. Add in the transaction fee and make it a standard for you. Because by doing that, you never having to remember manually putting it in, especially as a new member coming in. Very likely you had a different fee structure, etc. Write it in. It's easy to have it there and never lose it. Are we all good with the buyer's expenses?
Yeah.
Great. Let's go over to seller's expenses. Number 59, brokerage fee. Very standard. We haven't really encumbered anything differently, but that's what we're going to go with right now. The 99 percentile. Doc stamps on the deed. HOA estoppel. Mortgage satisfaction. Seller's attorney fees. That should be your 99%. If you have something different, you'll be adding it to the nature of that transaction and modifying accordingly. But for the package purposes, this is mostly your default. Scroll down to the next section, following to be ordered by. Title should always be the buyer because here we're picking the buyer. So if you already know who your escrow agent is because you filled something out on the first page and that's why you're still eating lunch and still here, type in who that office is.
And you can do a slash, Andrea, because it says.
Yes. But at least have that. Have something. Survey. Buyer. And you don't have to define who the surveyor is. You probably use the same surveyor, but sometimes things are weird. I just put TBD.
We don't know who's available.
Yeah. Home warranty, I don't put that in there because that's very subjective to the contract and the transaction you're working on. No sense in putting it in for a 99 percentile situation because it's not. All right. Are we all good with this section? Okay to move forward? Great. Carrying on to the next page. Obviously, you don't have a concept of what these terms are as far as inclusions, so leave that blank. You don't have a method of the funding of it, so leave all this blank. So as we're going through, we've moved on to the next page after what we've ordered. Personal property, we don't know. Method of payment, we don't know.
Ceiling fans, that's the stupidest thing I've tried to have.
You can do that. It's all personal decision, okay? Decide what you want. If you think that there's something that's normal to you, do it, okay? It just makes every click saves a click later. I'm carrying on, going on to page 4. Related to appraisals, we don't know because we don't know how we're funding it. So nothing to select there. Very likely, you're probably going to write the contract on a 99% default, which is as is with the right to inspect. Unless you really get into the habit of putting in budgeted repairs. That's what everybody's writing. Take advantage of this opportunity to click A and make sure that you don't lose that contingency by accident. So line 189 on page 5, as is with the right to inspect, is most likely most people's defaults. Pick yours. I'm not telling you which one is the correct one. Huh?
The true as.
Never know. Page 6, we're carrying forward. We don't have anything to select so far as I'm scrolling through. Hopefully you guys can see it on the screen clearly. Page 7, again, nothing here. Not every community has an HOA, so I don't usually pick that. Anything in Midtown doesn't, so, you know, I leave it open.
Do you not always check restrictive covenants?
No. And that's a personal choice. If you do always put that contingency in there, use your 99 percentile and plug it in. This is meant to be based on your habits, okay? Now,
Can I just say
yes,
why I do?
please.
I'm really good about getting them to the people, but I have had a couple situations where my people have found out, with the restrictive covenants, they did not like something and they wanted to terminate. And they did not want to have to pay for an inspection. It was just, this was their way out. Yeah,
So,
so,
You keep it checked.
yeah.
so
But
again,
I'm also good about.
Brittany's giving you that example. If you want to utilize that, please feel free to do so. It's the purpose of this entire exercise.
tag on to that, if you email RC request at STS Law and give them the address, they'll reply
Yep.
back with
Right away.
all the
They're very quick.
addendums, whatever covenants.
It's very fast.
And then
Oh, yeah.
do you
just forward it
I forward it.
I always forward it.
Coming from them, not from me.
Exactly what I do.
Closing there, they're just.
And I would never, some place that has attached it in the in the associated docs, don't ever use theirs.
Okay, so don't trust the others.
No.
RC request at stslaw.com. Restrictive covenant.
And
also
very
just
good,
second
very good. Maybe told said, don't. I've done
They
that
need the
before.
address,
And then I go
because
back
I've
and
asked
talk
them
to them, oh, I
for
was
the
last
covenants
year.
for hotspot, and
Yeah.
they'll say, there are so many phases, and
Yeah.
they'll make it specific to that address.
Yeah.
To make sure you get the right phase, unit, everything.
Then it's
all
on-
of that.
then it's on-
At stslaw.com.
So you would even put in the subdivision address.
The address.
Yeah, just the physical address, and they'll pull everything else from there.
I usually send the parcel ID.
Yeah.
You can.
Double check.
Okay, so everybody got a nice new fun fact about how to get restrictive covenants, so there's really no reason not to have that. You've made your determination if you're gonna click that box or not. We're gonna carry forward. Now, going on to page 8, you have all these addendums. You guys need to get into the habit of always including your compensation agreement as a part of the contract. It has to tie to it. If you don't tie to it, there's opportunity for failure, okay? So, the typical method in Leon County has been broker to broker. There are seldom cases you can modify based on the seldom case, but go with your 99 percentile, broker to broker. Every contract should have a flood disclosure. That is now mandated by the state. So that should be an autofill right there. Homeowners Association, our office requires it. So it should be an autofill right there. Even if it is for nothing and it is blank, you gotta. So have those pre-filled and ready to go. Just makes your life easier. Now, carrying forward to the final page of the purchase contract, you don't know what the time for response is, nothing to put there. But down here, I'm going to tell you guys my habit, and you can choose yours. You're always going to be the selling agent, so you can pre-fill that. I like to list both selling and listing because I like to cover side my deals where I can. If you don't want to do that, don't do it, but it's easy to remove because I'm going to show you a method where it auto removes it for you when we're merging in. But it's nice to have there whenever you don't have that opportunity. Okay. So take a moment, fill this all in. Okay. Hopefully by now everybody's gotten the majority of that information put in. Maybe. Once you have, save that document. That's what's going to put all of these details into fruition for all of your packages moving forward when you're picking this package. Okay. Once you've done that, let's X out of this. Very. We're trying so hard. All of the other documents in here that we created in this package don't really have any pre-fill necessary. They're all just more or less just checkboxes along the way. So nothing to do there. What you've just done though is you've created your first buyer package. So now it can work for any contract. So before I switch over to the listing side, I'm going to show you an example of how to use it so it's efficient for you, okay? Go back into your Paragon tab that's now timed out because we've been out of it. Log back in.
Oh, how do you do that, Brittany?
Do what?
You have to open it and
Open it again, delete file, or delete package. Deleting like old packages we've made.
Yeah. Like once.
Yeah, clean up shop.
Like this, but they're adding me.
All right, so since we all decided we wanted to do good manifestation to good contract deals, we're going to do a $1.7 million listing. We're going to get it under contract right now. So is everybody in their Paragon?
Yeah.
Ready? Yes, 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 yes. I don't want to speed ahead and forth.
Yeah, wait, wait a second.
Absolutely.
Actually,
No, what's wrong? You got it open? Your Paragon. Keep your Forms tab open though, okay? That's vital for this process.
Going back to Paragon.
Yep. What?
It's all back. Eat it out. It's so funny. It's so good.
Just throw some chucking peanuts back.
Brad's gonna do a little demonstration after the.
Okay, so everybody has their Paragon and their Form Simplicity. Now you notice I did ask you guys to open up an LCPA Tallahassee tab. I did that for you because that's what you guys have been doing if you haven't been using this method. You've been going on there, pulling up all the information, getting all the data. It's good to have it. I will say people can enter in wrong information to the MLS sometimes. So it's good to reference and confirm. But mostly we're going to be forming everything into an autofill. So that will help self-correct that. But just, it's good to have it open, okay? With that being said, while you're on that listing, is everybody on that listing or whatever listing you want? I don't care. I'm just trying to manifest a good deal for you. We're going to click on the little box in the corner here. Has everybody selected that little box right here? And while you have both tabs open, you're going to click the actions. And for those that are in different MLSs like eCar and such as Flex, they have a Form Simplicity action option as well, where you can merge in and do the same habit. Just you're going to go in and you're going to click on Form Simplicity. Has everybody seen that in this actions dialog? It's right here. Yes. Because once I click, it will move away.
It doesn't, mine's not doing it.
After I check the box.
I was gonna say mine's not working.
Let me come around.
I did it.
All this that opened up.
All right. Depending on your settings, let's do a different listing. Sorry, Jason. We tried to get your house under contract.
Yeah, I think it might be because it's coming soon. It doesn't recognize.
No, it popped.
No, it works. It works.
It's just some people have pop-up blockers.
So check your pop-up settings.
Pre-filled
It's
out.
not pre-filled out.
All right, let's go to a different one, okay?
Just hit the little blocker button on the top right corner of your browser. Let's do my bottom one.
Let's do your Bob and Brooke. Give me the address. It's because it's a coming soon.
But it's coming soon. Well, it's not.
700.
It's okay. We'll do 3,700 Bob and Brooke. 37.
Okay, let's start.
All right, actions. Forms, listen.
Look at this.
Or whatever.
This autofill.
Yeah, it's still not doing it.
37.
Is your pop blocker on?
You want me to show you? You go.
So I'm good.
Everybody got 3,700 Bob?
Mine's not doing it.
But I might need help later.
Look at all your pop-ups. You bad. You kept clicking and clicking, so you can clean out some of these.
Make sure your Form Simplicity tab is open.
Oh, man, Ann.
All right. You got it ready?
If it doesn't work the first time, you try 20 more times.
She did. Here's yours, Nan.
Okay, thank you.
One click. Nan has like 8.
Hang there.
All right. Just won't work.
Gotta push it harder.
Yeah, you gotta push it hard.
Perfect. Yep. Yes. Everybody's working? Awesome.
Very
Awesome. And?
Yes.
All right. Now that we're on that dialogue and screen, let me get caught up since I was checking everybody else's. Oh yeah. Thank you, Kyle. All right. So what this has done is it's populated all of the relevant information from the MLS and saved you a lot of trouble. Now, where it does make mistakes, I'm going to give you guys where the mistakes are. This is why I want you to still have LCPA pulled up. Seller names are always a butchery.
Yeah.
Because you guys are manually putting in the seller name, it will always be jacked up.
And there's never enough room. There's not
Nope.
enough space.
And there's always multiple. So you got to have to do a little bit of manual entry, but this saves a lot. So while we're on this, use this to your advantage because it helps. Once you fill information into this, all of your forms that you add in to the transaction will start getting auto-generated. Every bit of your process starts getting speeding up, okay? So go through this and you see it already has all the address put in. It has the parcel information, MLS information. The seller is listed in this one because it was listed that way, but let's just verify to be safe, okay? It's a little, okay, so there you go. You answered that same question then. So let's look up the address, make sure everything is correct. Let's get the proper seller name and input that in. Bodenbrook Way. Come on. I think everybody's using the internet at the same time. It's like freaking out. There's a lot of people pulling on it.
Yeah. So when you gotta put that whole thing in, we don't pull deed of trust.
The whole kit and caboodle.
Is this way better than doing it from like the actual contract and doing the import button? What
I
is
do
this?
it backwards from
Yeah.
full simplicity, same kind of thing, but I just entered in the MLS.
I find it to be where it's like, it's
Can I put MLS?
because you're going in and you're looking at the listing, you're confirming all your details. It just makes so much more sense to just
And if the house is not
float.
listed, if you write up a house
Right.
not listed, then you can go that way.
Exactly. All right. So we're taking this, we're confirming the name. And don't get confused. You have two form simplicity tabs as it will open up its own tab. So just, yeah, just making sure everybody sees that. All right. Write the name all correctly.
Someone bring me an offer.
We're trying. We're all writing offers. Everyone's writing an offer right now. I am. Oh, trying to get the best of it. See all these little tips and tricks we're all doing with each other? All right. Now then you're going to carry down. You see the sales information? Go ahead and put in the price. For sales information, you're typing in the purchase price. Buyer information, do whatever you want. Jane Doe, John Doe. You notice how it has your agent information? Also, it's already there. Now you're going to click. Has everybody done all the pre-fill now? All right. We're going to save to a transaction.
Party number. Do that as a buyer. Party number. Party number 2.
Are you in the actual transaction already?
The buyer.
Right above your screen here, right above the.
I don't ever change anything in there.
You don't add your buyers up there.
You're at the top. Let me see. Oh yeah, you gotta break that. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, you put it here, but
Yeah.
you don't put it here.
no, not party one. You just put it there, and then it's all the same. Because every time there's a reference for buyer blank, you put. So let me show you what Jamie was asking, just so everybody knows. Over here, on this buyer info, you want to put the full name of the whole buying party together because whenever like on the page of contract for purchase and sale, there's only one line for buyer. So you want all of their names to be listed here. Okay. These two sections, if you already have all the individualized information, you can fill them out with the individual buyer's names and their email addresses, and they will become transaction participants. So when you go do the e-sign, you're not looking for them. They already show up. Do you want to click them in? Kind of like how the broker shows up automatically, the buyer's agent, all that stuff.
Stable sign too.
That's what stable sign too. It just transfers over the contact. So if you have the information, which you should, because you're writing this contract, this would be an opportunity to write their first person's name there, their relevant email address there, the second person's purchaser's name there, and their relevant email address there. By doing that, it saves it into the transaction. You're never wondering who the buyer is. When you're out in the field doing an e-sign document, it auto-fills it. So remember that. So let's do an example just so you have it, okay?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So John Doe and Jane Doe are the total buyers. So John Doe down here, John at gmail.com. Jane Doe, Jane @gmail.com. Okay, so if you look at the screen, you'll notice I took the total buyer name and I split it up and I put it into two parties. That will then create them as a transaction participant down in the dialog of your packages when you see them in your transaction, and then they will always auto-populate for signature. And that'll make more sense in a second. Are we okay with me clicking to the next stage? Save the transaction. Very likely this is going to be a new transaction for you. Unless you already have like a buyer broker form that's already been opened for this buyer. So everybody will have their own relevance. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna do how I do it. Now you see property type, residential, transaction type, purchase, save. There's gonna be so many Bob and Brooke contracts in this office. You're gonna have a bidding war.
You have to go into this Apple so it doesn't throw you off.
Yeah. All right. Now that you're inside of the actual transaction, which everybody knows what that looks like, are we all there? Yeah. Great. You're going to go to Add Forms Packages. You see that dialog and button? You click on that, and you see over here at the top it says brokerage wide, and then it says personal. This is where we just made our new package. And this is a buyer. So I'm going to use the sample or whatever you pre-filled it as. Now, knowing what this looks like, I can choose and pick what I want from this. I don't need lead-based paint. It's not old enough for it. Oh, did I just get bumped off from the internet?
You did.
Let me see if I still have it. Good. Let me get myself back there, guys. A second. Yep, that will be after you get under contract, etc. So did all of that make sense for everybody? All right. You add it to the transaction. And so now you see this dialogue that popped up about merging data?
Yeah.
Did anybody get that? Yeah. You notice how I put my name on both sides because it was just trying to keep the default and then pick and choose? What this does now is it tells you who it's picking for the seller information. It happens to be, it's another nomin agent, so it's going to look a little similar, but it's taking out what I put in because that's my package default and picking the transaction. It's getting this, when it says that's merged information from the MLS, which should always supersede what you're using. Sarah Noel Proctor, her email address, not mine anymore. Leon, in lowercase versus big case. That's because I had pre-filled information in those fields. You probably didn't have that. You just probably put buyer's agent on yours, on your package. On that bottom of clause of page 9, if you didn't fill it out for both.
Got a transaction.
Yeah.
Whatever, right.
So you notice now, I'm in here. I opened up this contract for sale and purchase. It's already been filled with
Awesome.
a lot of information. So you notice it already has.
If you're taking out the phone numbers at the bottom, go to the bottom where the agents are.
It's probably because the internet, when you're clicking save, it's not saving it because of everybody using the internet at the same time.
That's the only thing you can.
Yeah, that's mine.
You use transaction. Yeah, mine's missing one, so it didn't save.
Okay.
Now, this is a merge field, and for whatever reason in the MLS profile that Sarah Noel has with TBR, they don't have a preferred number, and that's the number that usually merges over. So it didn't put it in.
They have my number.
They do. No, that no. I know they have yours, but they don't have a preferred set, so it didn't merge over, and that's okay. You can figure that out, or you can leave it blank if needed. But you notice how by doing that and clicking the actions and running over, you've already have 75, maybe almost 80% of your job done as far as pre-fills. And then you come in here and pick and choose all the terms of what you want to do related to this contract. So do you guys see, that's why you want to have LCPA open. You got to come back and put in lot, block, subdivision, but you already have parcel, or you have the full address. You already have put in the seller's name and the buyer's name. It's all there. You're avoiding error, but more importantly, this stuff is the stuff you're used to putting in because, you know, you want to get the deal done. But these check boxes, when you're on your phone or iPad and you're trying to do it, you will miss and you will forget to put the little nuances, but they're already there for you. So you're not making mistakes. Yes.
How come it can't pull the lot block like it does when you do the auto fill?
They, for some reason, I guess MLS is like Paragon system hasn't whenever you do back-end coding, they have to be identical. And if there's anything that's off, it won't merge the field. And so for whatever reason, how they're transcribing the information from Paragon to Form Simplicity's backend, they just don't synchronize in the same way. So if it doesn't synchronize, it drops it. And that's what's happening here. So you're always going to have that, but it's also a good way for you to double check the information to make sure that nothing was misentered on MLS. But more importantly, these are here. It's done. And if I want to add nuances to it, and if I wanted Serenol's seller in this contract to give me a bunch of credits, I write them in, but I don't have to sit and think about all these individual things because a lot of times we're doing this right after a showing, or we're rushing to a dinner, or we're going to go pick up our kid and we're doing it on a hotspot and you're in a rush. This helps avoid error. Is that helpful to everybody?
Yeah. Wonderful.
Great. We did it. Yes, I will. All right. I'm going to show you guys one more thing related to the buyer package. And we are going to do the listing side if you guys have the attention span for it. And I'll make that really, really fast. But if you don't want it, we'll move on. If they need to, yeah, I will. Okay. So what we'll do is let's close this out. Say you got to the point where you're ready to start doing, your e-sign. Let's just click this for example purposes. You know how we put in those participant section on the buyer? I'm going to do e-sign for today's purposes because we're not there yet. But you notice how all of a sudden these all show up. You already entered them. They're done. You don't have to go back in and set them up as a contact. You don't have to put them into your e-sign portal. They're in the transaction. The information is there. And the best part about all that is when you do the contract cover sheet and they're always asking for all the buyer and seller information, it will autofill into those forms as well because you put it in the right spot in the transaction. So it saves you so many steps and all the extra add-ons of documents that you do once the transaction starts. So
Fix that broker at G.
that is something that is way higher than me. That is with Form Simplicity directly. And for some reason, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say the amount
I
of
wish
chasing
gotta be-
emails and
Broker at Nauman.
But you see how it has this? It's already there. It's because you put them in as transaction participants during the buyer party. Okay, it's when we separated them and put them down there with their emails. Does everybody remember that? Yes.
I wish when you went to that, everything wasn't pre-selected. I wish it was just blank and we would select.
Yeah, but at least I don't have to go and enter in an email address while I'm trying to get this done fast. So
Yes.
yes. And there's a lot of features. You guys will notice on mine, because you're seeing mine, I have a CC recipient as an auto. That's because I've set up my internal settings to do that. So if you are working with someone on a very regular basis, or if you have a transaction coordinator who's doing all of your stuff on the back end and you want them to get the documents, you don't have to keep forwarding them over. You should set up a CC recipient. I will do that privately with you. Fair enough?
When you're writing multiple offers for the same buyer, are they already saved in there, or you have to still do them on that very first screen for each transaction?
Well, if there are multiple offers, you should be doing them all individually. Now, you can put them all into the same transaction if that person is writing a lot of offers and they're always failing. If that becomes then you can work on organizing the file below.
Yeah.
But you're going to do them all. You're going to create contracts in the same method every time because then it creates fluid movements that avoid error. So hopefully that was helpful in the buyer's contract. Now that you have those packages set, the only thing you'll ever have to do for those packages moving forward is when you go to blank forms, from time to time, you'll start to notice, Nan will say, we just updated X document. If you know that document is in your package, it will not show up when you ask for it because you have not manually updated it. And what I mean by that is when you go to your forms packages, down here in this open white space, you'll see a red button that will populate and it will say update package. You have to click that because it will swap out. For example, we just did one for the listing packages on seller's property disclosure. If you don't click that, then all of a sudden, every time you click the package, it's not showing up with the seller's property disclosure.
It does give you a little red.
Yep, it'll have a red dialog right here. It says update package. Click on it and it will update the package. Then what you should do though, when you've done that is any of the fields that are the same, it will merge over that information. But if they created a new field, usually when the update packages, they're adding some level of a new field. Go back in your package, open it up, make sure that the context is correct, and then save it. And then that way your package is ready to go for the next
And
transaction.
then if you just create a transaction, if you start from there, that's right, they're going to just scroll down and choose your buyer.
Yep, I have never, ever used a nomin package. I will always use my own because I've already done all the work to have it ready. And then I can add the documents that I want. It just makes it easier. I'm not having 40 documents show up and I'm trying to find the contract and you just get too distracted. We're attention span short. We know
You
that.
can also minimize the broker packages above.
Yeah.
It
So you don't have to
doesn't
see it.
Visually distract you.
All right. So hopefully that was helpful for everybody. Would you guys like to sit through a listing side?
Go for it.
Okay, let's do it again. So we're going to go and create a new package. So on this same form, you're going to click on blank forms, forms packages, and click create new package.
Under what?
On your form simplicity, you're going to go to blank forms. You're going to click forms packages, create new package. And we're going to do the same thing we essentially did for the buyer side, but for a listing side. And you can name this whatever you want it to be named. Pre-filled listing package, personal, whatever you want to name it that you will remember to use it. Okay. What I've named it is a sample listing. Absolutely.
And then start adding more for
He's gonna give us a list.
I am. I read it. Remember.
We all have it.
Personal and buyer. Yeah. You're gonna go in and be able to take company back or personal. It's just very personal. So like if somebody else was trying to do a contract on your thing, they wouldn't use any of your package. This is all your personal. Okay, so is everybody now creating a new package for a listing? In this listing, you'll see the dialogue that I have on the screen of all the forms you should be having in there. These forms are mandatory for the checklist that you guys heard about from Mary Claire and Chris at the beginning of this entire meeting. So put them in. You need them. Listing agreement, seller's estimated proceeds, HOA, flood disclosure, seller's property disclosure, seller info, broker to broker. This is your opportunity to go ahead and get that done. Transaction broker and wire fraud. Have all of these ready to go. Now, in this case, where in the buyer's case, we were only filling out one form. A lot of these you can pre-fill. And it will make it very easy to get new listings.
We're gonna have to switch back and forth from nomin to TBR.
Yeah, you are going to have to find them in different folders. Is that making sense for everybody?
Yeah, what do we need to find in the form?
So in the nomin one, you're going to be finding the,
What do we need for?
it would be TBR. All of these should be in TBR.
Oh, I already have some.
No, TBR and nomin.
I just saw it, so that I won't guess.
Okay, cool. If that works for you,
Yeah.
you're creating a package that works for you. Now, what I would do,
So I'll remember to get them slated.
this is. So yeah. Wait, this is, you're creating a listing. I'm saying,
Yeah, that one.
No,
But there might be
my
something
point is-
just like it's gonna tell her.
Yeah, they want to create a listing package that you're getting a listing and you haven't done anything yet, this is just to get the paper company.
How do I back out?
So what you're gonna do is, go ahead and delete this whole thing. So, start.
Got it.
Everybody, was it working well for you?
Don't you want to add broker to broker?
Yeah, it's easy. Huh?
Don't you need to add broker to broker to yours?
He has it.
This stuff there.
Why is yours that?
Well, you can move it wherever you want. You want to
It's like where it wants to go. Yeah.
You can move him onto a little.
You just
platform.
press this little dialogue here and you can move and drag to whatever you want
Got it.
to make it work for you. All right, I want to try to get us through this in the next 15 minutes because I'm about to pull my skin off with also my patience. So, once everybody has all these documents populated, please let me know, just like a audible yes, so that I can now. We can move forward. This table's solid, right?
Yeah.
I feel like. Too money.
Yeah.
Okay. Mary Claire's just like, everyone just listen to it. I do, I'll like literally put like Valley Guard. Okay, so just do it. Oh, you guys ready with the house? Ready. I send out that.
Yeah. I got
Just. We won this round.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
The bar, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I understand your.
Honestly, I feel like
Yes,
yes, ma'am.
You have Diana now.
But you should always just turn it on. Like, if you guys can look at live.
Yes, you already.
It's okay, I think it's just, they're not being blocked by everybody, so sometimes.
Diagonal.
Top tier, Tom.
Okay, does everybody have all their forms ready to go?
Yeah.
Yep, all right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with the listing agreement because that's really the meat of this package, just like the contract was on the other one. Yeah, you can drag and drop. Here, I'll show you what Jamie's talking about. So I always like to have listing agreement first, and you can reorder these by just pressing these 3 lines and dragging. Okay? Let's go to listing agreement. In the listing agreement, there are parts that you can pre-fill and obviously parts that you can't. You don't know the date of it. Listing agreement. And then after that, you could do like seller's proceeds. It doesn't matter. You guys pick whatever you guys want.
He's like, just do it.
Just do it.
It's a personal preference.
All right. We have date, broker. We know the broker. It's always going to be the same broker. So, Nauman Group. He actually was here for a while. Nauman Group Real Estate Inc. It should say that. It should be the true formal listing of the broker's name.
No, that.
No, it's not actually listed as the. Is it done on the corporation? I don't think it is.
Mine autofills it as the.
Because you wrote it like that so many times. Or typed it.
That's your computer.
I think it's the.
TNG.
Yeah, then I'll. The Nauman Group Real Estate Inc. I'm almost positive it's a DBA for that, but that's okay. We'll go with whatever you guys want. Just make sure it's the correct one. Don't put Nauman. You put Nauman, you got nothing. The document's useless. All right. Seller is blank. We don't know who that is. Lot and block description. We don't know who that is. You could put in county, but you also do Wakulla County, Jefferson County, Gadsden County. So don't limit yourself. It's just something to change. Just leave that open. Everybody usually has their same termination fee. So put it in.
But as Nan says, don't you want us to put 1% of LP?
No, you were.
I
That-
use the
that
fire
was the-
brokerage.
yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
2% cancellation fee.
Charge whatever you guys are comfortable with along with your broker's approval. I'm not your broker. All right. Moving on. I like to leave B blank because our company practices are to leave it blank. We don't have anything about the contents, so we'll move on from that. Audio, video, all of this stuff. Most people do have it. What I found though is kind of like 50-50 sometimes, even though you think you would have more audio, video. Some people don't. Some old people like don't. So leave that blank. Pick your 99%. Whatever's going to make your process easier. This is not about my process. It's about your process. I'm just giving you the tools to make it like yours. So put in whatever you believe is your comment. If you don't want to fill that out, don't fill it out. That's fine. I always set up on brokerage company standard. And if you decide anything differently, that means you're manually changing it to that. So you can remember that you've made a manual change. Company standard is 6%. And I like to space it. 2 spaces on purpose.
Make sure it's very clear.
I want it to be clear. I want it to be seen. I don't want there to be anything that is not visible. Transaction fee. We all know what that is. Write it in.
By having that filled out, you're only changing based on a special courtesy scenario. If you're a 5 hitter, then go for the 5. Do whatever you want. Do your 99%. That's between you and not me. If the next clause, I'm aggressive. I put a big date in there. If you want to put low, put low. What is the company standard?
I put 3. Oh, I put 2.
Great.
I put 2. Yeah.
I put 6. So if I've done something and somebody comes back 6 months later, they're going to pay me. All right. Transaction brokerage. It's the only operation we perform. Coming down to here, we are a broker to broker participant. So we will always utilize the top box. And if we're going off of our standard of the other, then it will be 3. If you're a 5 hitter, then it's a 2.5. Pick your 99%. Do not check the bottom box. The bottom box basically goes against what we just wrote in the other clause. So pick the top box because we charge as a full brokerage and then do a broker to broker operation. Down here in your broker responsibilities, some people like to have defaults. Some people like to have case by case. Pick your 99%. I like to always do TBD because everything is subject to. And I always usually do about 30 days because most people usually call me within a month period to discuss it. If it's something unique, I've modified it whenever I set up that listing. Okay. Moving on. I always like to click yes for coming soon. That's my personal habit. You pick your habits. Don't pick mine. But start filling in what makes a sense. I mean, I'd rather have a seller agree to let me put it in as coming soon. Whether we participate in it or not is up to the moment. But I'd like to have the liberty of doing so. Yes, sir.
On line 119 about the coming soon, if you check that, and this may be an end question, do you have to enter it as coming soon in the MLS?
No.
And then
Just give me a reference.
because if I want to put no and then I can't put does, you know, how do I can't, I want to mark it basically I can.
I put it as yes, and then if I decide to do it, great. If I don't do it, I don't.
Okay, we don't have to.
No.
because we're checking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just communicate with people and make sure.
No, yeah, I just didn't like the verdict when I go through it all the time.
All right. Moving on. This, based on company standard, is 50-50. Yes. So make sure you're writing 50-50. If you have something that's different than that and you're working to get a special approval from the big guy whose name is on the sign, not mine. I don't know where it is. Haven't seen it. Yeah, it's in the dungeon. All right, authorizations. They absolutely will authorize us to use a lockbox in 99% of the cases. If you have a rare case, that's when you remove it, but think about the 99%. I always like to pick Supra and coded. There are times in the process where I have a vendor that needs to go. There are times in the process where I have a Supra. Pick both from now. It makes it easier.
We're about to get those new blocks.
We are. Hopefully that's the case. And then that will also fall into the same category. All right. The seller authorizes us to put signage up. It does not mean that you have to do it, but it also means that if you do, you put up a sign for an open house. This is a blanket statement. Choose does. Unless it's completely off market. And that's, again, a 1% versus a 99%. Moving on. F. Everyone has their own practices. Pick what relates. If you have a practice that you do it. I'm not telling you what you should do. What I do is does. Why? Because every system that we use auto synchronizes to platforms that we can't control. They're third-party platforms. You can go in there and make changes and modify, but when you do that, you lose exposure and you lose opportunity for your listing, and then you get a big earful from your client. If you have that practice and you're okay with it, go for it. I don't care.
Wait, you do does on
All the way down.
All the way through.
down, really?
All the way through.
I do that's not on the last.
I do does not on the last.
Because guess what? With this one right here about writing reviews, if
Go ahead and change that.
well, here's it's not about you what you want. I will explain that. I'll explain that section there, that last one that everybody's talking about. When you put it into the MLS, you lose decision. And what I mean by that is every day, all MLS systems across the nation make decisions on what they synchronize with and have relationships with and remove relationships with. You are not privy to them unless you're always in the loop or a member of some committee, A, and B, those third parties can change what their features are. So I am not going to sit here and say does not. Put it into the MLS, it synchronizes to one of these third party sites, and all of a sudden, homefinder.com decided to add a new feature for all their customers to write their opinion or like or dislike, and it shows it publicly. Are you keeping track of that? No.
Yeah.
So by putting yourself in a does not situation, you're putting liability on yourself to be in control of that, which means you'll have to completely limit synchronization. I'm not doing that in my practices. You shouldn't. 99% should be does.
Should it be smarter then, to just take that off the contract totally in the MLS committee?
No, because it can take place. This is giving us, really, it's not about does or doesn't, just as a brokerage, giving us a coverage of liability to say, heads up, when we synchronize, all these things can happen.
But I was with Kyle's point about like the social media, because I always thought that's what that last comment fell under, that last box.
Yeah.
Does it say social media anywhere?
Well, third parties, like if Sarah's putting it up on Instagram or whatever.
But it's not just social media.
But TVR,
It's anything.
I think someone at TVR said that to us once, that you
Yeah.
can't check no on that if you're gonna be posting on social media where there can be comments.
Right. And you can't control it.
But I like to be able to tell my people, I tried, I put it as not, does not, and I can't control the internet.
I will say, I have never ever had a person inquire about that comment, candidly, but choose your 99.
Now let's talk about the estimate, because if you do the fourth one as yes, it'll let this estimate appear right beside yours.
This
So-
does not control that at all.
No.
It's doing it no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not.
You have to go in and manually change your settings in the MLS.
But I've looked through it, when mine does not, this estimate.
Because you're doing a manual change in your MLS listing when you're putting it in.
Wait, I don't.
Like this form is
This
just a
form
form.
is not controlled.
just a
in
form.
MLS at all.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
know, when I do it in the MLS.
I will say the only challenge though is when you do that, RPR makes a financial
Right.
opinion on it. Black Knight, which is the operator for Paragon, makes a financial opinion on
And
it,
will
which
show if
synchronizes.
you have does not.
It's
But
completely at your
what I
discretion.
was gonna say is if you look at your estimate before you put it in, because if this estimate makes sure this price look better, then you might wanna
Yeah.
leave it in.
But what I will tell you guys, and you guys, if you have watched it or not, when you put a listing up, 9 times out of 10, your estimate auto corrects to your list price. And it becomes your list price. And very, very commonly. You'll be shocked at how many times it does that.
If you had a client who said, I don't want third parties, I want that to say do not.
Well, that's a new one. That's so here again. This we're losing sight of what we're doing here. This is not intended to talk about these features.
I'm just saying we can't control it.
Pre-fill what you want on your 99%. This is just pre-filling forms. If you have a specific case with one client, then that's that 1%. So pre-fill this based on your 99%. We're just pre-filling forms, not talking about the individual concepts. We just kind of got sidetracked there. But I'm just saying, if you have someone who is particular about it, you need to know that there are options. Yes, you can change the settings of your listing in the MLS to be relevant to that. I'm just letting you decide what is your 99%. As a company, though, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you've picked does not, and you have not done your part as an agent to tell everybody in this office who handles marketing, don't put my property on the marketing, and they do, and all of a sudden it goes on social media, you've just violated your own listing agreement. You realize that? That's all I'm trying to say. When you say does not, and you didn't do your part to make sure that everybody knows that this property is on a blacklist to be marketed, you've put the brokerage into a liability point because they're going to auto market it. You're just thinking about the MLS component, but there's a whole other segment of marketing.
That's why I'm asking though, because if a client said, I don't want it, I want that to be checked, do not, we're still putting ourselves in the line, so then how do we say?
You need to combat the conversation properly and have somebody come in if you can't if you can't have it answered to say heads up, here are the reasons why. And if that's where it lands, you need to go in and communicate that to everybody as a blacklist. Do not promote this, don't put it on social media, don't do anything, because all you're thinking about when we're sitting here talking is MLS, but you're forgetting that there's a whole other segment of this
We
listing.
can't control it, so that's why I'm like, why are we even asking the question if we can't?
Because we don't make these documents, we just use them.
This is a discussion for another day, not this.
Feel free to join MLS. Feel free to join one of the committees. Kyle will tell you how to do it. Nan will tell you how to do it. Forms committee.
Mark's gonna have a-
See you later.
PR.
The new seller's disclosure.
Yeah, they just came out with that.
And there's an addendum to it.
Who's
so-
already-
All right.
Yeah.
Get
Omar,
out of here.
we still have 31 minutes with you.
Oh, no. I am done with you. I am done. All right. So here's what we're doing. We finished that up. We saved this form. Save it. You have it in your package now. Let's get out of this dialogue here. Homeowners Association, there's not really anything to pre-fill there. I like to go ahead and pre-fill even the basic stuff where I know that there's not an additional fee, etc. It's usually annual in most cases in Tallahassee. Everything's an annual basis. Sellers estimated proceeds is a great opportunity to go ahead and pre-fill some basics there.
Transaction fee.
Transaction fee. Stop. 9 out of 10 cases, things have an HOA. It's better to have it listed there than forget about an estoppel fee because people will pull up that seller's proceeds. Especially sellers, whenever they have 5 charges out of the entire statement, they're going to look at it. So there is a state maximum of what, 350?
I thought it was still 200.
Great, right? 250.
50, yeah.
Whatever you put in your examples, like for the standard stuff, brokerage fee obviously is a very specific, but the transaction fee can go ahead and be put in. Write it in. If you're a type of agent who puts 2 columns, meaning list price for the listing agreement plus another scenario, pre-fill both columns. Have it ready. The more you do now, the less you do later.
What do y'all put for mortgage satisfaction?
$50.
27.
I always do $50 just flat.
$18.
Yeah, whatever is your standard, do it. I like to just overdo it.
Is it?
There you go. $2.99 first.
$2.99. So there we go.
What do y'all put for express man fees?
Oh, actually, they've been about $100 lately for carrier fees, or $60, and it's like ranging. So
Yeah.
something that would be beneficial to you, and again, everybody has different practices for seller proceeds. Some people put a lot of stuff in there, some people put less.
Don't forget the transaction fee.
Don't forget your transaction fee, and don't if you put in like a crazy number over here for taxes, because this always throws off sellers when they're not aware that that's going to be collected at closing and then they're refunded later through an escrow check from their lender. Put in some crazy number there. It's just to make you think, okay? Like write in. Oh, so it really throws up. Oh, sorry guys. Put in your standard form, you know what I mean? Put in some weird number so it forces you to go back and find out what the real number is and correct it. Okay? Because obviously it's not 25 grand unless you're selling, Serenal's house on Bobby Brook. But otherwise, it's usually a couple $1,000, $5,000, $7,000. You can go back and find out what that information is, but don't leave that part out because sometimes those taxes are pretty high and it throws off your entire proceeds. And then you have a really awkward conversation of why you didn't tell them that they were going to be charged at closing for that amount and then refunded later in most cases. All right, that form is done. Up next, let's see. Flood doesn't really have anything. Yeah, that's it. The rest are all there as a package. There's not really anything. Any questions? Let's do a final Q&A. Wow.
I have one more announcement. The listing agreement that's been updated is now gonna have an addendum that if you check a box that says, we're gonna do this. We are, the new thing about in-house listings and all, then you have to have a little separate addendum that you fill out. So watch for that. And when it comes out for sure, I'll send y'all some notes. But
Thank
it's
you,
just- yeah.
as always. Okay, thank you guys all for your attention. I am shocked at how long we were able to stay through this.
Thank you so much.
Does everybody have beautiful packages ready to go? Any questions? I don't want to be a teacher. I would end up killing a lot of these students. I'm just too aggressive. But thank you all for listening. Hopefully you found it helpful. And if you have any questions, ask. I'll happily help you with all of your individual questions and stuff, but just let me know. Yeah, this will make your life easier, their life easier, and it'll be just a smoother process. So now you guys can literally go from MLS to contract to e-sign quickly. Cool?
Now let's write the contracts.
Write contracts.
Contracts.
Big one.
Thank you, Omar.
You're absolutely welcome.
Thanks, Joe.